think when we reacted to Rax's video, I think it was level like 87 or something like that. Not much progression. We're 89. I mean, we got a couple. This has been 5 link, but we got 4 on this. That was huge. Last video, I mean, we've made more progression on maps. We're still basically just hunting Citadels. But we're gonna do DM's video. I've reacted to him forever, especially since all the D4 days of when we were playing that, and Hope was there for it. But all that Hope's gone. It's only PoE now. I'm hoping he talks about endgame stuff here, because that's really what I want to get into. People have been kind of all over the place as far as like map sustain. One shot mechanics have been like talked about like crazy. I just posted that video. That's getting a lot of split opinions. But I'm curious. Let's see what he talks about.
Watching Path of Exile 2 feedback videos, and some notable content creators like Crip and Zizarin have talked about this recently. You probably think that I'm about to talk about armor, considering the fact that I am a level 90 Titan. I've been playing Warriors.
Armor sucks, bro. Armor's bad. That's all I've heard. All I've heard is armor sucks. I bailed on my Warrior pretty early in, but I've heard armor's bad. Bad spot.
Kind of a warrior advocate from the beginning, and I've been stacking armor.
I'm just gonna move this over here.
Obviously,
for the whole video.
Warrior guy is probably about to shit on how annoying it is that armor is not that good. Actually, this is not the topic of the video. Or if you've been watching the live streams recently and watched me play my mage, in which we tested out with my buddy over there from Starforge, Magic Find. You can see I have 184% Magic Find, and I can actually get even higher.
Oh, dude, so this guy's just sitting here. Dude, he's running the rarity before it's gone. Running it. I hope we see what his stash looks like.
Off this build. You're probably thinking about to talk about the Magic Find problem, as that has been a very notable discussion. I do have feelings on Magic Find, but actually no, this actually isn't my biggest issue at all with the game. Funny enough, he literally sent me the message as soon as I logged in. Get more Magic Find, loser. Now, when you're playing through Path of Exile, from the very beginning of the game, they have quests that are on the side here that kind of tell you where to go and what to do. And if you open up your map, it's got these handy dandy little spikes here to sort of show you where to go. And they even mentioned in interviews that they wanted people to be able to feel the freedom to explore, but have direction and know what they're supposed to do if they feel like they're stuck. So they have these skulls on the map that will literally...
I thought they did a pretty good job of that throughout the campaign. Like, I pretty much everything that I felt lost for was just like these were highlighting, and I just didn't see it. That's a me problem. Like, they definitely made the campaign a lot more clear and concise going from what to what. I haven't really sat and looked at or thought about how many side quests did I waste. I feel like even most side quests, it's a non-issue. No, yeah, I'm just saying about the game. Like I feel like even side quest wasting, like there was a lot of wasted side quests in PoE 1. I'd be curious to see how many were wasted in PoE 2.
They show you where you can go to get additional bonuses. So when I'm playing through a character, I know, what am I supposed to do? Complete the Trial Master's Challenge, travel to the Molten Vault, enter the time portal, and I can actually click on these, and they'll basically straight up show me on the map like where these different quests are located. Now this helps.
Oh my god, he's about to complain where the Citadels are. I can feel it. I can so feel it. He wants to know where the Citadels are, boys. It's the whole mystery of the game.
Helps with a sense of progression or meaning to my character, or at least it's the campaign, so I know I'm supposed to go here and do this. Basically, I don't feel confused. I know what there is to achieve, how I'm supposed to achieve that, and I can just either choose to do some of the side stuff or choose not to do it, but there's a main purpose that I'm supposed to go in the direction in which I'm supposed to go. Now, once you get to endgame, they continue this sense of purpose. You get to endgame, and you still have Doriani here, which gives you quests. It says, like, for instance,
my guy,
SSF Monk here.
Identifies my items.
Complete tier 9 maps, and 3 out of 8 of these. So I go on here, and I complete these maps. But there is one...
What's this map device he's got, dude? This is sick. This is sick. Did this come with the $500 version of the game? Do you have to pay $480 for this map device? Worth it.
So I go on
worth
here
every dollar.
and I complete these maps. But there is one even more critical objective that he gives you.
It's
They
that
have this
hideout.
right here,
Oh,
this
it's definitely the
burning
expensive one.
monolith in the middle. In fact, it's such a big objective that no matter where you are, there's a little skull that points you in the direction of the burning monolith. In fact, it's such a big deal that they even have 3 different quests that say travel to each of these citadels: the iron, the copper, and the
Right.
stone citadel.
This is what we're
Once you've
stuck on
completed your
currently.
maps, these are basically the last quests that you have in the game. So you have a goal in Endgame, one that is very vocally, clearly directed at you. Go find the Citadels, and you're going to have these because the Pinnacle of the Flame says obtain the 3 Christ fragments, and you have the 3 Citadels here, and then you'll finish the maps before you find the Citadels, and that's where we come to the crux of my biggest issue currently in the game. The Citadels on the map in Endgame are completely RNG. There is no sense of direction.
And you know what's kind of crazy? You know what's kind of crazy? This is gonna be it's crazy hot take. I kind of like that the Citadels are RNG. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. It's just it's cool. Like if that's something that it'll change. I feel like because enough people are gonna complain. You don't think that they're gonna change? That's interesting. I definitely think that they'll change, but I love it. I'm down with it. I don't love it when I'm sitting here and I've been looking for the Citadels for 3 days, haven't even seen them, and I heard if you get to the end, like to the Pinnacle boss, and you lose, you sit there, you have to start it all over. So that's great. I'm sure I'm gonna be doing that a bunch of times, but like I don't know. I kind of like the random side of it. Yeah, the maps randomly generate. That's what I thought. I mean, I figured everyone's map seemed different when we all started. Don't know they have to do with that being a clusterfuck, there being infinite amount on the map. Well, so because people are kind of all up in arms now of are they going to sit there and change the way the maps system is because people miss kind of target farming the one maps. People hate having to do shit maps in between the good maps. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole map system gets reworked, but at the same time, like I kind of hope they don't because I like this system that we've got in place. But I don't know. I kind of like it being RNG. I'm down with it for sure. I hope there's some kind of method that someone can crack eventually, but I hope it's just one of those things that like nobody figures out for a while.
At all. Once you actually get to maps and you're like, okay, I want to continue my quest. There is no way, there's no direction, there's no go left, go right, there's no arrow, there is no nothing. It is literally go to the map and just randomly pick a direction and hope you run into a citadel. Now, you might be playing the game and ran into plenty of these and think to yourself, I don't really understand why this is a complaint. Just play the game. You're going to come across.
Because I've been sitting here in Endgame for how many hours at this point? I don't think I've ever even come across one. That's the problem. I personally don't care. Like I said, I'm very fond of the way that they kind of have it being RNG right now. I just kind of froze DM on a tough moment there. But like I like this side of it. The RNG side. That's just me. Just me.
Them, especially once you say, well, DM, your character's only level 82. You don't have that much of the map uncovered. I don't really understand your complaint. This isn't a big deal. Well, my friend, if I log on to my level 90 or my level 88, they're in the same league and therefore share the same atlas. You will notice I have only found 1 citadel on the quest line here on the right-hand side. And I could show you this whole map that I've uncovered, and we could spend a while here of me.
Yo, you know what's really crazy? Going for Citadels, it's probably exactly like when you're clearing a map and you miss the one boss after you've got 90% of the map cleared, and it just shows the little skull there. That's what's gonna make everybody rage the most, is that they were this close, but they just didn't clear that one tower over here that got rid of the fog. Oh, heated. People are gonna be so angry.
Going and zooming around all of this, or
He's going with the one build where it's all energy shield and 1 life. That's bold, dude. I love the way this looks, though. To be honest, how many people are just gonna kill the Pinnacle anyway? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like their goal it was like you just want your casuals to be making it to maps in a league, which I think is attainable right now.
I could do /played and show you the play time on all of the different characters, okay? But you're just gonna have to believe me because I don't feel the need to actually prove this one. I've played the game like a degenerate since the launch of the game.
I don't think anybody's questioning how much he's played the game. He's live all the time.
1 Citadel, and I have plenty of people that have told me they've played a very long period of time and have found exactly 0 Citadels in the game. This is the one Citadel I have found. This guy right here. Now, when you find
At least I know what they look like now.
one of these, you have one attempt to defeat it.
Great.
If you do not succeed and you die, this Citadel is now gone. You cannot go back in and reattempt it, as it is a map. And much like the maps, you have one attempt to do these.
Rework the whole system. Rework it all. 2 death penalties is too much. I can't be losing 10% and my map and my Citadels. Especially if they're going to be this few and far between and fully RNG. That can't be the thing. That just can't be the thing. Keep Citadels the way they are. Keep them RNG. Cool. It is what it is. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Or you lose the bonus of the map, and this bonus of the map just happens to be one of the 3 fragments that you need. Keep in mind, I still have to find 2 more Citadels. Okay, I still have to find 2 more of these, and they're completely RNG.
And then after you get to the boss and lose to him, you have to start that all over.
Any of the other 2 maps we find, and I have to hope, because these can repeat, that I don't find the same Citadel again. Then, when you go to fight the Burning Monolith, the man has multiple one-shots that will one-shot you. Now, I'm not complaining about the one-shots. I understand it's the Pinnacle boss and I need to get good. I get that part, okay? But you have...
So just like in the video when I was complaining about the one-taps, right? One-taps, non-death effects. Because I don't believe there's any Ubers in the game right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I don't think there's any Ubers in the game. I'm cool with the Pinnacles having some one-taps. I just don't want it on everything. There are Ubers in the game. You can have one-taps and your 10% and you lose your... I know. And you lose your portal. I know. Gotta be one, gotta pick one.
Gate kept of 3 Citadels that are RNG that you can't die on to attempt a boss that has one-shots that you basically need prior knowledge in order to understand how the boss even works. And then we have the only quest in the game that doesn't have any sense of direction at all. It is literally RNG and you're running across the map in just any way. Maybe there's some pre-programmed layout that we haven't quite figured that out yet, but for intents and purposes of the player, this is basically fully RNG. I go out in whatever direction. I hope I run into a Citadel. I hope I don't mess it up even once. If I do, God help you. I have over 200 hours into mapping and I've found one of these. This basically just boils down to like borderline unplayable content depending upon how lucky you are to find these things.
And I'll be honest, like I could see that. I think you're completely in the right if you're sitting there 200 hours into maps in like a normal league setting and you're quitting the game because you can't find Citadels. Like that's where this is a problem for the game. And I do agree. Like this is like that is a problem. Because our community hub tells someone with 390 hours that they price. Yeah, like that's just crazy, right? Like, and now that exactly that's the point, right? So someone on the community hub, there's no proof, there's no background, there's no nothing. DM is a good PoE player, he's a good ARPG player. He made the whole way on the Titan Warrior, nonetheless, which is kind of crazy. Like Warbringer at least kind of had some totem like looks, but Titan was like not really in the best spot right away. Didn't get carried in any of like his ascendancies, anything like that. Like the dude grinded. Like if this guy is playing 200 hours in his maps and not coming across them, and now I'm gonna assume that's 200 hours across all of his classes, right? Not just one, which is even more crazy because I saw the sorcerer build and that thing is just like ripping. It can be RNG, right? But there just needs to be like not as much like every X amount of maps that'll open the potential for something. This guy wants to buy something right now. Hold on. We had to make that one exalt. I don't think he's gonna say hi to YouTube though. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Now, in the original Path of Exile 1, as you're going through the mapping system and you're completing, you know, beat your tier 10 maps, beat your tier 12 maps, etc., they will give you, like, smaller bosses. It's like, oh, you're done with the tier 12s. When you beat that, you're going to get, like, this invite, basically, from completing the maps that
Maven's Invitation.
Automatically a boss fight to accomplish. And those boss fights have multiple attempts for you to be able to go into it. And if you fail it, let's say you fail all 6 of your portals, because you basically have 6 lives to go in, then what happens is the very next map you beat, you get an invite once again. And they have like quest versions of each of the different Pinnacle boss. In this game, the Pinnacle bosses that are not the mechanics of like Delirium or Breach, like mapping mechanic bosses, there's only one in-game Pinnacle boss at the moment. I know it's early access, probably change, they'll probably add in more bosses, but at the moment, the only early access Pinnacle boss that's not tied to a mapping mechanic is the Arbiter, and it's complete RNG, and you only have one attempt on all of the pieces and one attempt on the actual boss itself, and there's no mechanic if you fail that, okay, go back out, find one more Citadel, and you get all 3 of the pieces. No,
right.
no, my friend.
I
You
agree.
have to go find all 3 of the pieces again and hope you don't run into the same Citadels again. So you kind of feel like in the in-game, you're just wandering aimlessly. And I know it's maps and, you know, the purpose of mapping is just to farm the game. And, you know, that's good. You know, Path of Exile 2's in-game and mapping is like kind of the standard that people want. But because they've associated it with the Atlas, in which it is sort of a world, and they specifically want you to feel the feeling of exploration. This is something...
Right, this isn't just a mechanic. Like, this is the end game. You know what I mean? I guess I get that.
That was vocally, fairly clearly communicated by them previous to the game coming out. They want you to feel like you're exploring an actual world, and that's how they're doing the Atlas. That sense of exploration they got, but instead I'm exploring blind, completely with a blindfold on my eyes. I can't see where I'm going because I am exploring just completely randomly and just hoping to God that the next tower I uncover will just show me a Citadel. I think there's very easy solutions to this, honestly. I'm not worried about this being a permanent problem because I think this should change, and I'm assuming this will change at the moment. This is probably like their first iteration of it. You could literally have an...
This game's gonna be so different in 2 months. It's gonna be so different in like 4 weeks. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Arrow, sort of like you do when you move the burning monolith that says go this way, they just point towards the Citadel. I actually straight up don't know a single reason why the Citadel is being secret. Has to be a thing. Maybe they don't want you to farm a ton of attempts and just use tier 1 maps to run straight there. You still have to beat the Citadel. You still only have 1 attempt. The Arbiter, you still only have 1 attempt as well. And very often these Citadels can be very far away. I mean, the first Citadel I found, you know, it's not close, my dude. It was all the way over here somewhere. I mean, hell, it's going to take me a while even to find the damn thing. So you would still have to do like a lot of mapping even to get there. And on top of it, by the time you've got strong enough where you could just push out quickly and farm these, then you're kind of trying to attempt Pinnacle bosses literally anyway, and you're still going to have to do, if you fail the Citadel, you're still going to have to farm a lot more maps. So I don't see a reason why we can't have something indicating where to go. It's set in the precedent of all of the previous quests. This is the only Pinnacle boss in the game. I think it was Zizarin in the video said that why not just have the towers, that when you clear the tower, like points you in the direction of a Citadel or something, you could do that. It would automatically.
That's perfect because towers, people hate towers right now.
Really just anything at all, because I find myself, I have a level 88 mapper, which I could go farm a bunch of, you know, items with my rarity character. I have a bosser in my Titan, but I don't have the motivation to, even though as someone who's literally a all-day streamer, that gets paid to play the game, basically, with the characters that, you know, are...
Oh, no, he just admitted he gets paid to play the game. He's gonna get heat for this.
Basically, the best thing to do currently is to farm the currency and just buy the fragments over the trade, which I don't like that solution. Now, I could go through some of the other Pinnacle bosses. You know, I feel like the Breach boss is like fairly accessible, a decent value. You can farm enough splinters. I could go through some, like the accessibility of some of the other Pinnacle bosses. Really, I think these will be tuned as well. For me, the core crux of it is this one: the Burning Monolith, the Arbiter, the primary like Pinnacle boss that you literally have multiple. You have 4 quests that points you in the direction of this boss, should be something that you have access to as a player. And it isn't even like once you beat it once, you're done. That's just not how this boss actually works. It's designed to be farmed like all of the bosses. If you actually look at your Atlas tree, literally, you get points for these. You get a whole tree. So you beat them once, you get 2 points, and you can go Arbiter difficulty, Arbiter difficulty, Arbiter. You have to kill them a bunch of times.
Yeah,
so
that is kind of crazy. I see what he...
farmed in every
long term, this is an L.
Getting the pieces of material you need to actually farm him. So I would absolutely love to engage with this mechanic more. But in order to do it, they're asking me to play for literally hundreds of hours without failing any of the things.
Kind of an oversight.
With my current RNG. There might be some people that
hey, even Michael Jordan missed game winners, bro.
that you could exist out there if you do.
Even Michael Jordan missed game winners.
But for as much as I've played this game and being able to actually see what the current rate is for me on my Atlas tree, and that's the other thing, all my characters are tied to the same Atlas here, right? You know, the odds of me getting a Citadel are extremely low, to the point of hundreds of hours per Citadel at the moment. And I just don't have the motivation in me to chase that outside of economically chasing. So the best way for me to do this is to literally stack rarely, play with a friend, make as much currency as possible, and then use that currency to purchase the fragments in order to actually get the Citadel itself. So for me, that's my biggest point of feedback. I sure hope this changes, because I would love to interact with the Pinnacle bosses more. I find the fights to be typically very enjoyable. I mean, the unique boss.
I haven't fought a Pinnacle boss yet. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think anyone's doubting that the boss mechanics are good, right? Like, come on. All of the bosses throughout the campaign were great. Even though they were a pain in the ass and they were tough. They were all, for the most part, great. But I'm sure the Pinnacle fights are great.
Bosses in this game are great, but once you get into the in-game and you get to the point you basically just one-shot all these bosses, is sort of the in-game of it. So I would like to actually engage with the Pinnacle boss fights that are like actual boss fights. Like the Breach boss, fucking awesome. Okay, really good fight. I lost to him multiple times. I was able to beat him.
Dude, I saw this. That's one where it's like purple and everything, right? Like, it's obviously, it looks like a whole breach up. That looked awesome. I saw somebody either on TikTok or one of the social medias. Maybe it was somebody with streaming it. Oh, dude, it looks so awesome. Like, that fight in itself, I was just like, this is the best ARPG it's ever been made.
You know, huzzah, great moment. You still have other iterations of him to fight, etc. But this Pinnacle in particular, the one the game is actively telling me to pursue, just feels basically unachievable outside of just getting lucky with the Citadel showing up. So that's my feelings on the matter. You're welcome to disagree, but for me, that is currently the thing that's killing the motivation.
I feel him. I feel him on that. I think that's going to change him right there with him. There's not really any need to like stress and worry about it, because it's like, I'm sure this is going to be locked up real quick. But a lot of people are feeling that way. You just can't have it come down truly to all RNG, and if you are going to have it be all RNG, we just got to crank the rates up. Little bit of indication, little bit of just sense of direction. I'm totally here for it. But I like it that was something like that was just kind of a deep dive into one big issue. We're probably going to react to Rax's video next for the next video for the channel. And I think that's going to be like just a wide variety of endgame, and that one will be a little bit longer. But hope they figure out the RNG. Let's not have it be RNG. I like the Ziz idea. Let's take the towers. Let's take towers and have them kind of maybe give you a little sense of direction.